Now let me share a cautionary tale that explains why so many teams fail despite having all the right metrics: the McNamara Fallacy. Robert McNamara, during the Vietnam War, was obsessed with measurement. He tracked everything quantifiable: bombs dropped, positions taken, enemies killed, resources deployed. On paper, everything looked fantastic. The data suggested they were winning decisively. But they weren't. Why? Because McNamara fell into a four-step trap that destroys teams and organizations worldwide. First, he measured what was easily measurable. Second, he ignored what couldn't be measured. Third, he decided the unmeasurable was unimportant. Fourth, he convinced himself the unmeasurable didn't exist. The result? On paper, victory. In reality, devastating failure. The unmeasurable factors, enemy morale, local population support, soldier commitment, cultural understanding, were actually the determining factors, but because they couldn't be easily quantified, they were dismissed. This happens in teams constantly. We measure lines of code written, hours worked, tasks completed, but we ignore trust levels, communication quality, psychological safety, and creative inspiration. We optimize for the wrong things and wonder why our high-performing individuals create low-performing teams. The most successful organizations have learned to measure the unmeasurable. How does information flow? Who connects different parts of the organization? How quickly does knowledge spread? How do people actually interact versus how they're supposed to interact? The Oakland Athletics revolutionized baseball and our understanding of systems with a simple question shift. Instead of asking, "Is this player good?" they asked, "What does this player make possible within our system?" With limited budget, they couldn't afford big stars. So Billy Beane looked at players through a systems lens, using data to understand not individual excellence, but contextual fit. They assembled unusual combinations of low-profile players who, when they played together, started defeating big-budget rivals. This reveals something profound about human nature. We are contextual beings. A person isn't just individually talented or untalented. They perform according to the system they're placed in. The same individual can be mediocre in one context and exceptional in another. If you like the video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment below with examples of great teams you've seen, and subscribe to the channel for more insights into the hidden patterns of success. Modern complexity science has proven this with network analysis. They map individuals as points and interactions as lines, creating relationship networks that reveal the true structure of teams. The most successful systems have multi-directional information flow. Ideas spread from the center, from below upward, laterally, and circularly. These systems make faster decisions, produce more creative solutions, experience fewer crises, and generate more breakthrough innovations. It's not about having the smartest person at the top making all decisions. It's about creating conditions where intelligence emerges from anywhere and be recognized, developed, and implemented effectively. The best leaders ask different questions. Do people genuinely listen to each other? Does information flow only from the top, or is it reciprocal? Who makes a difference with their thoughts and presence within the system? How can we create roles that change with balance rather than rigid hierarchy? We're shifting from the age of talent hunting to the age of context building. The most valuable skill isn't finding the brightest individuals, it's creating environments where those individuals can shine and enable others to shine alongside them. Think about the most successful tech teams. They don't just hire brilliant engineers. They create cultures where engineers feel safe to experiment, fail, learn, and build on each other's ideas. They design communication patterns that prevent silos and encourage cross-pollination of insights. The future belongs to systems architects, People who understand that when you correctly build the interaction patterns, something greater than the sum of parts emerges. And that's where real transformation begins. The science of complexity reveals that excellence isn't about collecting the best individuals. It's about creating the conditions for collective intelligence to emerge. From Barcelona's football to the Manhattan Project's physics, from Moneyball's baseball to Silicon Valley startups, the pattern is consistent. The best teams have invisible architectures of interaction that enable each member to contribute their unique strengths while amplifying the contributions of others. They measure what matters, not just what's easy to count. They design for emergence, not just efficiency. In our increasingly complex world, the ability to build these systems, whether in the office, the classroom, or at home, might be the most valuable skill you can develop. Because every group has potential as a system, and when correctly built, magic happens. The question isn't whether you have the best people. The question is whether you're creating the conditions for the people you have to become their best collective selves.
Barcelona's 2008-2012 team wasn't the most expensive squad in football, but they dominated the world like no team before or since. Manchester United had Cristiano Ronaldo, Real Madrid had Kaká, but Barcelona had something invisible that made them unstoppable. Pep Guardiola revealed the secret. When the ball is with us, the opponent cannot play. It wasn't about having the best players, it was about creating collective consciousness. Even Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest individual athlete ever, understood this. When someone talks about me, they should also mention Scottie Pippen. The most successful teams throughout history share a hidden quality that has nothing to do with talent on paper and everything to do with something scientists are just beginning to understand: the science of complexity. Here's something that will completely change how you think about success. Assembling the most talented individuals doesn't create the best teams. In fact, it often creates the worst ones. Look at modern football. We see million-dollar transfers, massive data sets, and meticulously designed tactical systems. Yet weaker squads regularly defeat more expensive teams. Why? Because there's an invisible force at work that's more powerful than individual skill. Synchronicity, collective consciousness, systematic flow. Barcelona under Guardiola perfectly illustrates this. Yes, they had Messi's individual magic, Xavi managing tempo, Iniesta sensing invisible spaces, and Busquets anchoring everything, but their dominance came from something beyond the sum of these parts. A collective awareness that made them move like a single organism. This isn't just sports philosophy. It's backed by complexity science. When researchers analyze the most successful teams across different fields, they discover that the secret ingredient isn't talent density. It's information flow, relationship networks, and what they call emergent properties that arise from the interactions between team members. Think about it. Every team has a network of relationships represented by who talks to whom, how often, and in what direction information flows. The best teams don't have the smartest individuals, they have the most intelligent interaction patterns. This completely flips conventional wisdom on its head. Instead of asking who are the best people, the right question is, how do these people enable each other to become better than they could be alone? Let me tell you a story that perfectly demonstrates this principle. The Manhattan Project. This wasn't just about gathering the smartest people in the world, physicists, chemists, engineers, all geniuses in their fields. The real magic was in how they were organized and how they complemented each other. 3 key figures made this possible. And here's the fascinating part. None could have succeeded without the others. Leo Szilard laid the theoretical foundation of the chain reaction. He was the brilliant scientist with the revolutionary idea. Leslie Groves was the military leader who understood both the language of science and the language of logistics. He could translate between worlds. J.R. Oppenheimer became the emotional and psychological heart of the team, using emotional intelligence to keep brilliant, ego-driven scientists working together towards a common goal. Here's the critical insight. If any one of these three had been missing, the project might never have been completed, or certainly not with the same speed and effectiveness. This wasn't about individual brilliance. It was about complementary roles creating a system where each person's contribution amplified the others. The lesson extends far beyond historical projects. The most successful tech companies, research teams, and creative collaborations all follow this pattern. They don't just collect talent, they architect interactions. They understand that one decision should bridge another, that behaviors need to form patterns, and that the whole system needs to be designed for emergence. This is why some startups with average individual talent outperform teams of superstars. They've accidentally or intentionally created better interaction architectures.